play places this size or bigger in other cities around the world, but now to be able to play the singer, growing up in the Treme and being able to walk there as a kid and see my name up on the marquee is a different type of mind-blowing experience, and I'm just happy that, you know, we're gonna take a shot at it.
I don't think a lot of people realize what your youth was truly like on it. You're walking around, you're seeing people like the Treme Brass Band and the Rebirth Brass Band, Kermit Ruffins. Just take us a day in the life of a young Trombone Shorty.
Well, growing up in the Treme was a marvelous experience, you know, like I remember walking to school, they'll have a jazz funeral. And then I'll come home and then you'll see Rebirth playing for someone's birthday party or just marching around the block. So just to be able to be in a neighborhood where there's tuba fats, the Treme Brass Band, the Dirty Dozen, the Little Rascals Brass Band used to practice in my yard, and I'll just go stand on the side of Corey Henry and just watch what's going on, and then I'll teach my band their song. And they see my little band and they'll all stop whatever they're doing and come by the house and teach us the right way, and then go back on the road, and then when they come back they'll expect us to have it right, and then we try to challenge them and we'll play against them as young kids because we saw Rebirth and those guys battling in the street, so we'll try to do that with them and they'll just laugh and be like, okay, we watching you. So whenever they try to learn a new song to preview on the street in the parade, we already learned it because we were at practice with them.
And then, like, it doesn't stay like that the whole time. We could pick one and keep it there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tuba Fats, he used to actually live with my parents, and he was like an uncle to us, so he taught us a lot, you know. Later on, when I got older, we would go in the French Quarter just to learn some of the traditional music underneath him. And he would make donuts from scratch for us, so we were always excited when Uncle Tuba came over. Whenever I'm on stage with Henry Butler, I gotta keep my ears and eyes open because I'll be in school. And some of the things he plays is just unbelievable. You know? Normally I'll just try to go back and listen to it and see if I can figure it out, and I never get one note right. Being around Cyril, you know, he's like my uncle. I grew up at his house. Cyril really took me in like a son and helped us on some music, and I used to just love hearing him sing. He would see me playing the piano at his house, and he would just come down and start humming some things, get his tape recorder, and that's a good idea there. So, and I learned a lot as a man, you know. He just taught us and led by example, and still today he'll call and check up on us as we do for him. So I've been great to be able to spend time around Alan Toussaint and the Neville brothers and people and really pay attention, and sometimes they just come up even now and just say one or two things, and it might not make sense at this young age, but 2 or 3 years later I'm like, oh, that's what it meant. So I'm always asking questions and just paying attention to the ones that made it out of here so I can follow in their footsteps. I've had 2 sets of teachers. I had teachers on the street with James and Tuba Fats that taught me through experience, and then I had the faculty at NOCA that taught me fundamentals. They said, we know you can play, but we want you to be able to speak and understand everything that you're doing theoretically. So I had 2 sides, but I was able to hold on to both of them because I never left. I always, whenever I learned something at NOCA, I'll go play with a brass band and I'll put that on top. I got a lot of friends that grew up with me that only can play by ear, and they're stuck. They can't do other things. And I was able to go and learn and have great teachers and not be afraid to be taught.
But then we had a nice chord on that.
You know, as I was growing up, I was playing with my brother's band and playing around town. And as I got older and more independent, I was able to branch out and do other types of music. When I was at NOCA and junior high school, I was listening to people like 9 Inch Nails and Ministry and Lenny Kravitz and people like that, because I was looking for something different that I could play over. That was a little challenging to try to put the trombone over. So I have my Walkman and I'll be playing in the practice room when I was supposed to be practicing something else. But I just wanted to figure out a way to be able to play over that. So I think with the development of our sound, because I was interested in that type of music, each one of my band members are strong, come from a different musical background than me, and we just allowed each one of us to bring that into our pot of gumbo. So Joey listens to a lot of rock and fusion, and Mike does a lot of gospel and hip hop, and Pete, he's jazz and rock. We wanted to be a band to where we wasn't just playing the standard songs and standard New Orleans repertoire. We wanted to take that risk to see if we can become as influential like the Meters and Alan Toussaint, and we look back and we like, well, these people created this sound.
What's amazing about the music you do, and I heard one of the ways you described it, is super funk rock. Tell us what super funk rock is.
Super funk rock is just a high energy of New Orleans music. Funk, rock, soul, a little hip hop. That's some jazz in there. It's everything that you can hear walking down the street, everything that you can hear Mr. Toussaint did in the studio. And it's just our level and our sound of New Orleans, just our interpretation of what we grew up doing.
You kind of touched upon it, but I think people might miss the fact that you're talking about, you didn't even have to leave the city of New Orleans to embrace a bunch of different musical styles, because we're talking about there is a difference in vibe between uptown, downtown, and different wards.
Absolutely, there's a different, so there's a difference between uptown, downtown, different wards. Like, even playing a tambourine, you might get some people from downtown playing with the knuckles. Uptown, they play like this. If you ever watch Cyril Neville, they'll play with their fingers like this. So it's, even just being in one city, there's so much information in different styles. So you have people, like you have Kermit that's playing a different style. Then you go check out Leroy Jones, even though they're both playing the trumpets, but you can definitely hear the difference. And then you have Cyril sounds a little different than Ernie Cato, different things like that. So just being able to be here in this great city and have all that access to all those different styles of music, and people being able to create the styles and sounds in their own neighborhood, because you got to think, pre-Katrina, a lot of people didn't leave their neighborhood, so whatever their words were, whatever they made up, they just made that happen. And then with some type of way we'll collaborate, it'll make its way down to the Treme or whatever we do, make its way uptown, and then it becomes a big thing, and it's just New Orleans at the end of the day. I'm just trying to pass along the music the way that I was taught. So I think education is the key. That's what we're trying to do, is just give the kids education and give them some information that I learned along the way so they can go anywhere and play. So we just wanted to play music. We wasn't looking to be stars or even chasing fame or anything. We just wanted to have an impact musically on the world.
Where do you want to be 20 years from now?
20 years from now, I want to continue to be able to play and hopefully have a big impact on the city through the younger generations, and continue to put this music first and bring it around the world. 20 years from now, I just hope I'm continuing to grow as a musician and learning and just being able to play music. I don't know where, if it will be in arenas, if it will be on Frenchman Street, but it doesn't matter as long as I can play.
We'll do it again. Let's do it again.